Hello everyone. This video is brought to you by Gia Online Education. So welcome back to my metals and non-metals part 2. In this video, we will going to learn about the reactivity of metals. This video will contain the reaction of metal with oxygen, reaction of metal with water, and reaction of metal with acids. We will also compare the reactivity of different metals here. At the last learnings from the video, here we will going to solve some questions. So what are metal oxides? Or how do metal react with oxygen? Let us see. Let us learn this activity first. In this activity, we have taken a metal that is magnesium and we have to hold this metal with the help of tongue. Now we are going to burn this metal. What will happen? In this activity, we know that magnesium is a metal and when metal react with oxygen, it forms magnesium oxide or will form a metal oxide. So this metal oxide is collected after the activity. This activity needs the teacher assistance. So it would be better if students wear the eye protection glasses. So what will be the basic equation for this reaction? Or how do we can write the chemical reaction of this? This is the basic equation, that is metal when react with oxygen form metal oxide. Now the metal we have taken here is potassium and sodium. So when potassium react with oxygen, we will get potassium oxide. When sodium reacts with oxygen, we will get sodium oxide. Now different metal like lithium, potassium, magnesium, sodium react vigorously with oxygen. These are alkali metals. All these alkali metals being highly electropositive, they show reaction vigorously. Now if we talk about the copper, then copper do not show reaction at room temperature. Rather, it will burn in air and will form copper oxide. So this will be the chemical equation for the copper. If we talk about silver, gold and platinum, then they do not combine even at high temperature with oxygen. They are inert to oxygen. Now, what are metal hydroxides? Or how do we get metal hydroxide? Reactivity of metals with cold and hot water results in the formation of metal hydroxides. Let us see how. The basic equation of metal with water will be metal plus water form metal hydroxide and releases hydrogen gas. Most of the metals do not react with water. But if we talk about alkali metal, then alkali metal reacts vigorously with the water. Why? Again, they are because they have highly electropositive nature. So here also if we take an example of sodium, then sodium react with water to form the sodium hydroxide. Again, what we have to keep in mind that this reaction is exothermic in nature. The reaction is exothermic in nature. This is because alkali metals are highly electropositive. Now if we talk about calcium, calcium will also show the reaction with water as similar to that of sodium. Again, this is also an exothermic reaction. The products are calcium hydroxide and hydrogen. But if we talk about magnesium, then magnesium show slow reaction with the water. It does not react vigorously with the water. So this reaction is not exothermic. But there are some metals. They do not show reaction with the water at room temperature. Rather, they show reaction at high temperature or they show the reaction with steam. So for that we need to have such a setup. Here the metal is treated with the steam and the hydrogen which is collected can be checked for its characteristic property. So let us see what are the metals. Aluminium, zinc and iron, they do not react readily with water. They show very slow reaction with the cold water but react with steam and form respective oxides. So here you can see that aluminium, zinc and iron, all of these three reacts with the steam to form the oxides and releases hydrogen gas. But on contradictory to this, if we talk about alkali metals, that is sodium, potassium and calcium, then they react vigorously with the water and form hydroxides. There are certain metals like lead, copper, gold and silver. They do not react with water at all. So we can easily see the reactivity of the different metals here. Potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, alkali metals react vigorously, then comes lead iron, and then comes silver, gold, and platinum that are inert. So we need to learn all this reactivity series. Now let us look about the reactions of acids. How do metal react with different acids? The basic equation of the reaction of acid is when metal react with acid, they form salt and hydrogen gas. Here also the byproduct is hydrogen gas. The salt which is formed here is specific of metal, that is respective salt. For example, we have taken here sodium as a metal, so we will get sodium chloride. If we have taken here magnesium, then we will get magnesium chloride. So respective salt of the metal is produced along with the liberation of hydrogen gas. Here again we have taken the example of sodium magnesium. They show reaction with acids easily. Similarly, zinc react with dilute sulfuric acid and it will form zinc sulfate and hydrogen gas. Now here, both the acids, hydrochloric acid and sulfuric acid, both show similar type of reaction. But reactivity of nitric acid towards this reaction is different. Why? Let us find this answer. Nitric acid is a strong oxidizing agent, so it oxidizes the liberated hydrogen gas into the water. Also, itself gets reduced to some oxide of nitrogen, like nitrogen dioxide, nitrous oxide, or nitric oxide. So, this is the reason why nitric acid does not produce hydrogen gas. Now, let us talk about the different metals. Copper, gold, silver do not react with the acids, they are inert metals. So, now it is clear that copper, gold, and silver, generally gold, silver, platinum, they do not react with oxygen, they do not react with water, and they do not react with acids as well. So the reactivity of the acids again can be summarized as follows. That is potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, and then comes at the end silver, gold, and platinum. Now, what are the learnings from the video? Now, can we answer these questions? Question number 1. Both calcium and magnesium are heavier than water but still floats over it. Why? You know that calcium and magnesium are alkali metal, that is they come from group 1 and group 2. So they are highly electropositive. So they show this reaction vigorously. And as a byproduct, hydrogen gas is evolved. So this hydrogen gas bubbles are stick to the surface of the metal and this helps the metals to float over the water, and this is the reason why calcium magnesium are being heavier and then they float over the water. Now, why alkali metals show all the reactions vigorously? This is because alkali metals are highly reactive. They show the valency of +1 and +2. They are highly electropositive, so they show all types of reaction vigorously. They show reaction with acids, with oxygen, and with water. Now, why HNO3 reacts differently? The reason being that nitric acid is an oxidizing agent as well. So, it oxidizes the liberated hydrogen into the water. And this is the reason it reacts differently. Now, what are the products when sodium and potassium reacts with HCl? Obviously, sodium and potassium are the metals and they react with HCl to form the respective salts. So, the salt of sodium will be sodium chloride and salt of potassium will be potassium chloride. Now let us come to the last question. What are the products when aluminium and zinc reacts with steam? So we know that aluminium and zinc do not react with the cold water. So they react with the steam to form the respective oxides. With steam, aluminium forms aluminium oxide, whereas zinc forms zinc oxide. Whereas if we talk about the alkali metal, they react with the water at room temperature and forms hydroxides. So these are the learning from the video. Hope you all have liked it. Thank you so much.